Going crazy, and I have a really awesome video for you today. So if you watch my videos, you already know that I have a very sizable coin collection. I love coins and everything about them. And you can see my name on YouTube is Coin Crazy, and so that should tell you something as well. I'm crazy for coins, but I love everything to do with coins. Well, I also have, and if you watch my videos, you already know this, a very large obsolete paper money collection. And I have graded paper money. I have money in these BCW holders. I keep it all in this nice blue binder here, turquoise binder. And I have everything from silver certificates to the Hawaii emergency issue notes to just special serial numbers. Let's get past some of this, to national currency and old 50s and 100s, obsolete currency issued by different companies, and your large size notes. But in the back of this binder, I have foreign currency, I have colonial currency in here, old German currency. But in the back of this binder, I'm just taking forever to get back here, I thought it would be cool to also collect old checks. Because I thought, you know what, I have coins, I have cash, I should add some checks. And so I started buying up old paper checks, and this isn't what I'm trying to show you here, but it fits in with the theme. And this is the most recent one I picked up. This is from the Blaring Milling Company in Atchison, Kansas. And the reason I bought this is because I used to live in Atchison, and I loved it there. It's a small rural Kansas town, home of Amelia Earhart, birthplace of Amelia Earhart. And I love Atchison. It's close to Kansas City. It's close to St. Joseph, Missouri. And I don't live there any longer. I moved from there. But I love everything about Atchison. I actually have an old car there still that I have to go back eventually and bring up here to Michigan, where I live now. But I used to live in Atchison, and I used to drive past this building all the time. So when I saw this check, I thought it was really cool. By the way, if you guys are ever in the Atchison area or Kansas City area, Kansas City, Kansas, or Missouri, you need to drive up to St. Joseph, Missouri, and see the coin shop, Kristen's Coin and Jewelry. They are some of the nicest people ever. The coin shop's not huge, but they will make you a great deal on anything behind their counters. And the people there that run that are exceptional. They pay really good prices on silver. They pay spot. And they pay really good prices on coinage. So if you guys want a great connection for selling your silver or your gold bullion, or selling your rare coins, and you need to kind of do so quickly, that's a really good place to go. Not only that, but buying from them is an awesome experience. I bought so many coins from them, including a coin that one of the people behind the counters was selling themselves. Had been there, worked there for years, and picked up the coin at the shop, held it for a number of years, and then sold it back to the shop. And I bought his coin, and I had it graded, and I brought the slab back in, and I showed him what it graded out to. I bought his 1800 Drake bust, and so he doesn't know me by name. If you go in there, you can say Coin Crazy said hi, and they won't know who I am. But if you say the guy that bought your 1800 Drake bust says hi, they'll know right away. They'll be able to remember who I am, I'm sure. But they're really cool guys there. They'll always work you a deal, especially if you're a repeat customer. And if you're in the area, stop by their store, Kristen's Coin and Jewelry, off of Belt Highway and another road, I can't remember what it is. They're in St. Joseph, Missouri. But anyway, getting back to what this video is all about, I thought it would be cool to collect old bank checks. And you can see this is from 1918 for $23 or $28. I've got a few more behind here. And from all banks all over the country. I have one from Montana for $5, 1906. One from 47 for $37. This is in Spokane, Washington. Old revenue tax stamp, 1868. And this is for $121, which was a huge sum of money then. $3 from 1912. And I just have more and more and more of them as you go back. Look at all the stamps on that one as it processed through their system. But so I thought, you know, it's really cool. And oh, and I have these. I gotta find some sort of protective sleeve to put these in. The problem is they're just really big. This is an unused, uncut sheet of old bank checks from the 1860s. Isn't that cool? 1860 from the Farmers and Mechanics Bank of Frederick County. And this came from an old bank lot, and I'm really proud to own this. I just don't have a way to safely store it, so I've been keeping it in this cabinet above me. I need to remember, in fact, you guys, because I won't remember, I need to open this shelf above me, put this right here, and then shut the shelf so that doesn't get ruined. But anyway, so I thought, okay, I've got the coins, right? I've got coins through the woohoo. And then I thought, okay, well, I got the paper money. So how else could someone pay? And I got the checks. Only thing I was missing were credit cards and or debit cards. And I thought, it would be really cool to not only have a collection of valuable coins and currency and just the checks kind of as a fun thing, because the checks aren't worth much, you guys. You can buy them for $2 or $3 or $4, as low as $1 at antique stores. But it's cool to have it all tie together and have this really cool collection where you can see how it's basically a history of how someone paid. And the checks are kind of like postcards to me. They're just kind of fun to have, but it's not something I'm going to focus on, like my coins and currency. Primarily because there's not a whole lot of value to them. They're just cool things to have and make this a really cool, unique, interesting set. I could probably sell all my coins and my currency and the checks and everything I'm putting together here and tie it into one cool collection and present it as such and probably demand a high premium because of that. But anyway, I decided, I need credit cards, I need debit cards, I need to go way back in time and find some of the first cards that were ever issued. And I've looked and I've looked and I've looked. I haven't been able to find one until today. And this is what this video is all about. I went to an antique store today and I found this, was really impressed by it, and I bought it. And what's even cooler is not the fact that it's a card itself, but by who owned the card. And I'm going to go into that here before this video ends. So let me show you this. This is a national credit card issued by the Phillips 66 company. And you see it's a passport to everywhere. If you had this card, you could go anywhere. And it expired on the last day of December 1957. There is his card number, which is crazy. Card numbers today, if it's a Visa, it starts with a 4. If it's a MasterCard, it starts with a 5. I think 6 is American Express. They're all 16 digits long, except for, I think, American Express. You can see this card belonged to C.U. Gramelspacher, and we're going to go into him in a minute, of Jasper, Indiana. There's his signature. And on the back here, you have terms and conditions. And I'm just going to read you a few of them. Upon presentation of this card, customer may make credit purchases of petroleum products for automotive vehicles, pleasure boats and airplanes, tires, tubes, batteries, accessories, exclusive of automobile, exclusive of automobile heaters, radios, fog and spotlights, tire repairs, wheel balancing. You could store your airplane for 3 days at one location, all that good stuff. Purchases are restricted here to these locations. And then it told you what happened if your account becomes past due. If someone used the card, it was assumed, that, other than you, it was assumed they had authorization to do so. And if the card was stolen, you had to report it in writing right away. And just a really cool terms of use. Well, then I thought, it's really cool that I own this, but who is this gentleman here? So I did some research, and I absolutely think this is a really cool guy here. And part of it's because he was an upstanding character who achieved quite a bit from what I can tell, but he also had a very direct yet indirect connection to aviation, which you guys, for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, if I haven't been a flight attendant, I've done something for an airline or have been involved with an airline or the aerospace business. Up to this day, I can hop onto an airplane right now and go anywhere in the world free of charge. Pretty cool, huh? But I love everything there is about aviation. And so when I saw this guy's background, I thought, that is super cool. He has a direct connection meaning I have an indirect connection, to the Spruce Goose, which was the largest airplane built. So I'm going to show you this article. And this is a newspaper article from the local area there. And it's talking about this new business called Monster Recycling, how they're taking over this new building. And it's a startup company, and this is what they have to say about the building. The building is a monster that began to take shape when three brothers, C.U. Gramelspacher, which is the guy on the card here, and notice Jasper, Indiana, Virgil Gramelspacher and Claude Gramelspacher established Jasper Wood Products in the 1920s. They built the first section of the building on 13th and Vine Street sometime between 1921 and 1924, according to Claude's son, Glenn Gramelspacher, who is 88. As a wooden parts manufacturer, the company built propellers and navigation tables for the war effort during the 40s. They also provided the plywood for Howard Hughes' Spruce Goose, a giant amphibious plane designed to carry cargo during World War II. The Spruce Goose was the largest plane ever built at the time. Its wingspan of 320 feet is still the largest of all time, and it only flew one time. Pretty frickin' awesome. In later years, the company built wood paneling for Ford Motor Company, television cases for Zenith, Motorola, and Philco, and parts for musical instrument manufacturers. Around 2005, the factory shut down, and after falling behind on property tax payments, the county assumed ownership around 2010. That is such a sad demise. Very, very sad demise to this business here. But if you look here, this is the Spruce Goose, and it is a huge plane. After making this video, I have decided that I'm going to go see this summer. I'm going to take a trip to wherever this is. And if it's available, I'm going to take a look at it and I'm going to see it. And it says it will remain in an Oregon museum. I'm going to go up and see it this summer. I think this will be a fun trip. This is a huge, huge airplane, you guys. There was another picture of it. Look at that. That is huge. I mean, when I was a flight attendant, well, one little thing could just fit right in here. One little airplane, which is nuts. I mean, it was a big airplane that I was flying around on. But you can see here, this is just a cool plane. It was built by Howard Hughes, and Howard Hughes was an eccentric multi-millionaire Hollywood tycoon, and he is responsible for a lot of great movies. He's responsible. He was an actor in many of his movies. He was responsible for huge rifts in aviation innovations, and he was also this is him right here. He was also a pivotal figure in he was just a pivotal figure in American history. He did a lot of great things. There's a lot of there are a lot of publicly traded companies that are still around that he invested in. He was a businessman. Like, so for example, the Howard Hughes Corporation is actually on the stock market, and it was started by Mr. Howard Hughes. That's a real estate development company. So pretty cool thing. But anyway, to have this, and to think that this guy here might have been having conversations with Howard Hughes over the phone, that's just amazing. I think that is still, I think this is really, 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 really neat. I also think it's neat that he was probably talking to Henry Ford, since they were building the wood paneling for all the Model Ts, and I would imagine the old pickup trucks. Very, very cool. So kind of an indirect connection to all of that through this business owner, C.U. Gramelspacher. His house is for sale. His family still live in this area, I would imagine. And they just should be very proud of their heritage and their history. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of caught my eye. The Howard Hughes Corporation, billionaire Bill Ackman still believes it is undervalued 2 days ago. So it's at $102 per share. But and it brings in at 1 billion in revenue last year. Kind of interesting, but I think this is a really, really cool thing. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can find any pictures of this. I don't know if this is this gentleman. No, this is Glenn. I don't think this is him. Let's see. Visit. Born in Jasper. No, Glenn H. I think that was one of the partners in the deal. But this guy was a great business person, and just a really cool person. So anyway, guys, I'm just rambling now. I'm sure that this video, I hope it doesn't offend anybody in his family if they should come across it. And if you guys by chance are related to this right here, I mean, this guy's pretty famous here. Look, Gramelspacher house, Gutzweiler house. It's a historic home located in Jasper, Indiana, built in 1849. So, I mean, this family has a huge following there in Indiana. They've made a lot of history there, because it's on the National Register of Historic Places, inventory nomination form. They just got a really great name there. So, and you can see there's an optometry clinic there. There's all sorts of stuff. It's just cool. I know that owning his credit card, I feel like I'm stalking the guy, but it's neat to learn a little bit about the things you have, and to learn about the provenance behind them. And this is really cool. So anyway, you guys, this is a long video here. And if you guys are part of his family and this is a bothersome video to you, let me know. I'll be happy to take it down. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and please take care. Please like, comment, and subscribe.